Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. A very warm welcome to the Strategic Business Leader webinar to success for June 2022 exams. I am your tutor, Kashif Kamran. Now today is the second day of this ongoing webinar to success for SBL, and we have a very important agenda on the day 2 of the webinar. Now the day 2 and the day 3 will be connected together because we are doing the September-December 21 paper on the day 2 and the day 3. So we have like 5 hours accumulative on day 2 and day 3. And we're looking into the September-December 21 paper with the examiner report and the way you should write an answer, particularly how you should gain the professional marks. So day 2 and day 3 we will be on the September-December 21 paper on the practice platform, and I think this 5 hours will change the way you look at the SBL paper, and you will gain a lot of confidence, a lot of motivation, and a lot of reinforcement and a lot of fine tuning how you handle an actual exam paper and what are misconceptions about technical and professional marks will all be delivered. So the next 5 hours is extremely crucial for all of you. So you should thoroughly be focused on day 2 and day 3. Let's start with a specific day 2 today for the SBL webinar to success. And I welcome you back again for this second day. Let's start the proceedings. Now on the day 2, the agenda for day 2 is a deep investigation of the September-December 21 exam paper on the practice platform. Now, a deep investigation means that I have kept 2 days for this deep investigation, day 2 and day 3, because that deep investigation requires a lot of time. But this deep investigation will give you a lot of opportunities how you can score marks in SBL paper. Now we know the tenure you have in exam is 4 hours. I am stretching it to 5 hours because this is a webinar where everything has to be guided in perfection. So you gain a lot of confidence ahead of your exams coming next week. Evaluation of the examiner report. Now that's very important. Examiner report, and I will be guiding you about the way of reading the examiner report, and you will be amazed that if you are not reading the examiner report yet, you will start to read it, because on the day 1 of my webinar, I did recommended reading examiner reports. So I need to encourage that, and I need to show you the way of reading the examiner reports on the day 2 of this webinar. Marking schemes, though the marking schemes in SBL are not very difficult, but still a reinforcement of the marking scheme for the sake of clarity would come into the day 2 and day 3. And finally, the do's and don'ts of the practice platform, which will be accumulating from today to tomorrow, day 2 and day 3. So a lot of things to be discussed. The same agenda will be for day 3. The same agenda is for day 2, and you will really be enjoying this exercise of the September-December 21 paper. Now, just before we go to the platform, and we spent the entire time on the platform and a deep investigation of the paper with the examiner report, let's have a quick look what was exactly being asked for in the September-December 21 paper, which we are about to see on the platform. In the September-December 21 paper, the name of the organization was Optima, and Optima was from a leisure industry. It was basically a leisure club, and the whole scenario was made on a leisure industry. It was a listed company. Secondly, the number of exhibits that were given to support the information the examiner has provided you about Optima as a leisure club and the leisure industry. There were total of 8 exhibits. So that shows you the amount of reading, and that's also show you the amount of retention which you have to do. You have 1 hour of a reading and planning time, and in that 1 hour, you are going through the 8 exhibits, and the retention is extremely important. I will be guiding you about the way retaining, because 1 hour later, when you start to write the answer, there is a possibility that you might have forgot what you read. So how would you go about retaining? Because retention is the key here after 1 hour. So we need to be focused on that as well. But a lot of reading, right? 8 exhibits is a lot of reading. Then there were 4 tasks of 100 marks. And these 4 tasks given in the exam paper, which consist of the 80 technical marks and 20 professional marks, focused on topics like customer segmentation, CSR, value for money, and the public sector project. So a bit of public sector came into the September-December 21 paper, data analytics and internal control. So quite a diversified testing of the syllabus area. We had something from technology, we had something from controls, we had something from public sector, we had something from corporate social responsibility and the customer segmentation. That is part of the strategy syllabus area C. Only one task out of the 4 requires presentation slides. That was the task number 1B. And this task 1B relates with CSR here. The rest of them requires things to be done in word processor. Now, only one task requires you to prepare a presentation or a slide. And the rest of the task was either a report or a briefing note, something like that, which all is to be done on a word processor. Now, this is a summary and holistic overview of what exactly was in the September-December 21 paper. Let's start the proceeding with the paper now. Okay, let's take you to the practice platform first. I hope you can see in front of your screen the practice platform. Please confirm that. And you can read the text very clearly in front of the screen of the gadget you are having. Can you read the text? Is the practice platform fitting your screens and you're clear with it? Please confirm that. Waiting for your replies in the chat box. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Now, when you start the paper, what exactly you have to do? Now, I'll be taking a bit of more time today, and we will be more into practice tomorrow, because I need to be guiding about every minor thing which might play a crucial part in your success. And some of you might not be knowing it, and some of you might be knowing it. That's also fine. Now, in an exam or at home, when you open the platform, and this is the screen, this is the dashboard you have in front of you, right? On the left panel, you have the task, you have the exhibits, and you have the response options, right? So 3 things on the left panel, and on the right panel, you have the main screen, and the main screen is just giving you the information that the following exhibits are given on the left-hand side of the screen. So the examiner is telling there are following exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're given on the left-hand side of the screen. And then you have been given the task and the response options on the left-hand side of the screen. So nothing much important here, because we all know that the left panel is important. The left panel tells us about the exhibits, about the task, and about the response option. So 3 things, and extremely important, which is to be done in a 4-hour exam time. Now, when you open this up, the very first thing in the exam which you should do is to convert the task into response options within 10 minutes. You're not reading task, you're not aware of task, you're not aware of anything, but in the first 10 minutes out of the 1 hour you have of the reading and planning time, you deduct the 10 minutes and convert the task into your response options and prepare your response options before you start reading the exhibits. Now, let's demonstrate that. Now, suppose if I am a student and this is my actual exam I am attempting on a day of exam. So I know what is on the right side of the screen. I'm not worried about it. I know the examiner is simply telling me about the exhibits, about the task, and about the response option. So I'm irrelevant on the right-hand side of the screen. I simply focus within a minute on the left-hand side of the screen and start reading it. Now, When I open my task 1 as my first window, and at one point in time, you should only open 2 windows maximum. You should not open more than 2 windows on your screen, because the more neat and clean you keep your dashboard, the better for you to control. So at maximum 1.2 windows, because I really don't like 3 windows. If some of you are familiar with 3 windows, you want a very messy dashboard, then that's perfectly fine. But as a tutor, I just want everything to be very organized on my dashboard. So I'll just keep 2 windows and operate in 2 windows. So my first window is a task window, and my second window is my response option. Now, when I look at the task number 1, I'm not reading it. This is what you're doing in the 10 minutes. I'm not aware what the examiner is asking for, but in the first task, the examiner is asking us to write a briefing note, number 1. So that is to be done on a word processor. And in the second task, 1B, the examiner is asking for 2 presentation slides. So that is to be done on a slide. So 2 presentation slides. So task 1A is to be done on a word processor, and task 1B is to be done on a presentation slide. So I'll just copy the task 1A, including the professional marks, Control C, and I take it to my word processor, right over here. Now just let me delete all this and take the new start. Okay, on my word processor, I bring the task 1A, task 1A, and I copy paste. So this is the task 1A. Now, next, task 1B. Now, task 1B is to be done on a slide. So I copy the task 1B from here, and including the professional marks, and I copy this and take it to my slides. I open my slides, and right here are my slides, and in my slide, I copy my task 1B. So I know I have to do the task 1B in the slides. That is it. Right now, I close my task 1, and I copied my task 1 and 2 in the word processor and in the slides. Now I'll open the task 2. Just give me 1 second. Okay, then I open my task 2. I hope you can see that in front of your screen, the task 2. I open my task 2, and in the task 2, I need to prepare a report. That means I need to do this in my word processor. And in the part 1, in the part A, I have to prepare a report, and in the part B, I have to prepare a report. So the overall task 2 is to be done on a report. I need to prepare a report for A and for B. So I simply copy this from here, including the professional marks, Control C. I open my word processor, and I put up here task 2A and task 2B, and I paste over here. Simply dump. I close my word processor, I close my task, and I move back to my task number 3. Now in the task number 3, again, the examiner is asking me to prepare a briefing note. So again, that means I have to do it on the word processor, A and B. So in one briefing note, I have to fit the A and the B. So I copy this task 3, including the professional marks, and I take it to my word processor, and I write over here task 3, task 3A, and task 3B, and I paste the task 3A and B here. I close my word processor, I close my task 3, and I finally open my task 4. Now in the task 4, again, I need to prepare a report. I need to prepare a report for the presentation. So I need to prepare a report. That means a Word file. And this is my task 4, Control C. And I go back to my word processor, and I open my word processor, and I write over here task 4 and I paste the task 4 here. Now I've just dumped the task into the respective response option. Now task 1A requires us to prepare a briefing note. So I dumped that in the word processor. The task 1B requires us to prepare a slides. So I dumped the task 1B in the slides. I hope you can see the slides, right? So I dumped the task 1B in the slide. So I know I have to do it in the slides. Rest all the tasks have been done in the word processor. Now this is just like taking 5 minutes so far. Okay, now what you need to do before you start reading the exhibits, you just need to arrange the task so you exactly know what is to be done in each task. Now task 1A, see how I prepare my task 1A. Now in the task 1A, I just need to prepare a briefing note. So I say, okay, the task 1A, I just need to prepare a briefing note. So I just delete the extra information. Briefing note for the finance director. And what I need to do in the task 1, I first need to assess the value to Optima of undertaking the customer segmentation analysis. And in the second part, I need to advise on the most appropriate ways Optima could segment its customer. And I have 12 marks for that in total. And then I have a skill. Now, when you look at a skill, look at the statement of skill. It says professional skill marks are available for demonstrating commercial acumen. So what is valid for you? The valid from you is demonstrating. So you will delete everything from here and you will just keep the statement from demonstrating, because when you are writing the answer, you need to demonstrate the commercial acumen, and I will tell you how. So demonstrating is the key word, and I'll just keep my statement from demonstrating. Now, task number 1, I know I have to prepare a briefing note in the task number 1. I need to demonstrate the commercial acumen in the task number 1, and I need to assess, I need to assess and I need to advise. I need to assess the value to Optima of undertaking customer segmentation analysis. So what is the value to the organization of undertaking a customer segmentation analysis, number 1? And I need to advise the most appropriate ways. What are most appropriate ways that Optima could segment its customer? How can Optima segment its customer, and what are the most appropriate ways to do so? So in the second part, I am telling Optima that what are the best ways you can segmentize your customers. And in the first part, I'm telling Optima that what is the benefit, what is the value of undertaking a customer segmentation analysis? What benefit will you get as an organization if you conduct a segmentation analysis for customer? In total, I have 12 marks, and then I have 3 marks for professional skills. I'll come back to it. Then you get to the task 2. In the task 2, you need to prepare a report. So prepare a report. You just make it ready quickly. Prepare a report, and report for the finance director, which will A and which will B. And then you have the professional marks and you make them. Now, in the first part A, you need to prepare a report for A and B. Report to the finance director. So that's critical. Analyze the potential opportunities and threats. So I need to look at the opportunities and threats which Optima must consider in relation to undertaking a collaborative partnership with the Department of Health to deliver a BFIT program. Now, when I'm reading the exhibits, and particularly in the exhibits where I get information about collaborative partnership with the Department of Health to deliver the BFIT program, wherever I find information about my collaborative partnership or Optima collaborative partnership with the health department, I need to look at what are the threats of that collaborative partnership and what are opportunities of that collaborative partnership. And I have 13 marks for that. Professional marks are available for demonstrating analysis skills. So which skill I need to demonstrate? I just need to demonstrate the analysis skill. So I just keep my word over here, demonstrating analysis skill in considering and reflecting whatever. I'll just come back to it. In the second part, B, I need to explain what is meant by value for money. So that's just like putting a definition, what is meant by value for money. And then the examiner says, and you need to evaluate the potential challenges. What are challenges which Optima will face in delivery of the BFIT program? So what sort of challenges, what sort of obstacles will the organization face when they are delivering the BFIT program? And you have 10 marks for that. And probably in the 10 marks, you have 2 marks for the meaning of value for money. And you have the remaining 8 marks for the challenges the company will face in delivering the BFIT program. And then you have the skill. Professional skill marks are available for demonstrating evaluation skill. So you need to demonstrate the evaluation skill in the next part. So that is the task 2A and B. Then you get to the task 3A. In the task 3A, you need to prepare a briefing note. And that's what you need to do in the task 3A. Prepare a briefing note to the finance director, and in the A part and in the B part, and then you have the professional skills. In the A part, you need to discuss the opportunities and threats to Optima of implementing the big data analytics. Now, quite similar question. In the previous part, we were looking at the opportunities and threats for the collaborative partnership. Now we're looking at the opportunities and threats of implementing the big data analytics. So wherever in the case study, we get information about the big data analytics, we need to be very concerned about it. And we need to think about the opportunities and threats to Optima of undertaking the big data analytics. 12 marks for that. Again, discuss the benefits. What are benefits to Optima and its the members of Optima, of using mobile technology to market and deliver services. So wherever we find information about mobile technology, we will be very careful about that, because what are benefits to Optima of using the mobile technology, or what are benefit to the members of Optima of using the mobile technology? And we have 8 marks for that. So opportunities and threats of big data analytics and benefits of the mobile technology. So quite a technological focused syllabus area here. Professional marks are available for demonstrating. Let's see what we need to demonstrate here. We need to demonstrate skepticism skill, and we'll see how to demonstrate that later. But we need to demonstrate the skepticism skill for 4 marks. Then you go finally to the task 4. In the task 4, you have to prepare a report. A report is to be prepared for what? Report to be prepared for the next board meeting. Report for the next board meeting, which evaluates, and that's the task, which evaluates the potential impact of the weaknesses in the Optima's internal control systems, weaknesses, and recommends actions to address the weaknesses. So that's a pretty simple question you mostly do in the AA paper as well, finding the weaknesses and putting the recommendations within the internal control systems of Optima, and you have 15 marks to do that. Professional marks are available for demonstrating evaluation skill. So you need to demonstrate the evaluation skill in the last part. So that is it. Now on the word processor, in 10 minutes, we exactly know what is to be done. We have a slight idea that we need to prepare briefing notes, we need to prepare reports, and I think that's the maximum. Briefing notes or reports, that's all what we are making, right? So just 2 formats in the whole paper: briefing note and report, and slides. Slides are given, so we're not worried about them, right? At least we know, at least we're not structuring the slides, because slides are given to us in the computer-based exams. That's easier. So just the 2 formats, and we have to discuss a lot of opportunities and threats. First of all, we need to discuss opportunities and threats for the collaborative partnership. We need to discuss the opportunities and threats for the big data analytics. We need to discuss benefits of the mobile technology. We need to explain the meaning of value for money, and what challenges can the company face in delivering the BFIT program. We need also to find in what ways can Optima segment its customer. So we need to guide them about the best ways to segment the customer. And we need also to talk about what value can Optima gain, or what value can Optima get from segmenting its customer. And in the last part, we're looking at the weaknesses in the internal control system. See, it's now on my mind. While I was arranging my task, and while I was splitting my task in front of you on the word processor, which all in together took me 10 minutes, now I know what is to be done. See, I've absorbed them, because when I was cutting, pasting, I was reading, it was going in my mind. Now see how I know what is to be done in every task in 10 minutes. So in first 10 minutes, what are you doing? You are just copy pasting the task in the relevant response option. So in this case, most of the tasks were copy pasted in the word processor, because either we need to prepare a briefing note or we need to prepare a report. Only one task went to the slides, which we still need to address. So now we close up the word processor and we open up the slides. In the slide, we have one task. Let's see what is that one task in the slide which we need to do. Now in task 1B, prepare 2 slides. So just 2 slides, right? Which with the accompanying notes. So we know in the exam, you are given the slide, you can see the slide number 1, and under the slide number 1, you can see the speaker note. So you need to prepare a slide. The slide is bullets and the speaker note is the commentary of the bullets, right? I'll just show you how to do that either today or tomorrow. Task 1B, prepare 2 slides, 1 and 2. An examiner has just given you 2 slides. So you cannot even fit in the third slide, because a lot of times the student says, what if we make 3 slides? No, examiner is asking you to make 2 slides. And the good thing the examiner has done here, examining team has just given you 2 slides. There is no option of a third. So slide 1, speaker note, slide 2, speaker note. Now what is to be done on the first slide and the second slide? Prepare 2 slides with accompanying notes, which explain why it is of strategic importance to Optima to demonstrate a strong focus on CSR. Why it is important for Optima to demonstrate a strong CSR. So we need to speak in the context of Optima, that why it is important for Optima to focus on CSR and for its customer and staff. So the importance has to be delivered in the context of customer and staff. What benefit will Optima get for its customer and staff if they have a strong focus on CSR? And number 2, its wider external stakeholder. What benefit will Optima get for its wider external stakeholders in terms of a strong CSR 10 marks? So I think one slide can cover customer and staff, and one slide can cover the wider external stakeholder. So why it is important to demonstrate a strong CSR for customer and staff and for the wider stakeholder. We have 10 marks for that. Control X. And on the second slide, slide number 2, I need to just speak of the wider stakeholder. So one slide will be for wider stakeholder, wider stakeholders. And I need to speak of the importance of CSR to the wider stakeholders of Optima, wider stakeholders. And on the slide 1, I just need to focus on the customer and staff. Why CSR is important to Optima, customers and staff. Customer. So one slide will be for customer and staff, and one slide will be for the wider stakeholder. In total, I have 10 marks, right? So I can take 5 marks for customer and staff. I can take 5 marks for the wider stakeholder. And you arrange it. Professional marks are available for demonstrating communication skill. Obviously, you're making slides. So in slides, you need to demonstrate the communication skills. You need to demonstrate the communication skills that's more relevant with the slides we are making. So communication skills is to be demonstrated. So when I come to the slides, I know what is to be done in slides, right? 2 slides one for customer and staff, one for the wider stakeholder, where I need to speak of what is the importance of a strong focus on CSR to optimize customer and staff and to optimize wider stakeholder, including the demonstration of a communication skill. So I have 10 marks on my slides. Close. Now, this is a webinar where we are taking a bit of more time, but this exactly takes 10 minutes when I do at home as a tutor. So you can do it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, sit down and see, okay, how much time it takes to copy the task into the word, into the response options and arranging the task in a logical order. So you exactly know after 10 minutes what is to be done. Now you're ready and you know you need to read the exhibits, but while you are reading the exhibits, keep in focus, what are you focusing on? While you're reading the exhibits, you're focusing on customer segmentation. So any information about customer segmentation will be copy pasted in the task number 1A. You're very much focused about CSR. Any information about CSR will be copy pasted in task 1B. You are focused about big data analytics. Any information about big data analytics will be copy pasted. You are focused about mobile technology. Any information about mobile technology will be copy pasted. You're focused about weaknesses in the internal control. Any information about that will be copy pasted. You're focused about the BFIT program. So any information about the BFIT program, the value for money, you will be copy pasting that as well. So that's exactly what you need out of the case study. Now, in 50 minutes of the remaining time, you will start reading the exhibits, and wherever you find the relevant information about the subject matters, you will dump them in the appropriate areas. Now, I hope you all recall the subject matters. So which subject matters we have? We have subject matters, which includes customer segmentations, number 1. We have subject matter, which includes collaborative partnership with the health department, BFIT program. We have implementing big data analytics, mobile technology, and internal controls, right? So is that all on your fingertips in 10 minutes, all of you? Are you clear what exactly to be done in the first 10 minutes of the exam paper? So in the first 10 minutes, will the topics absorb in your minds? True or false? In the first 10 minutes, the topics should absorb in your mind. See, I have absorbed them, right? Now, I know there are 4 to 5 topics which I need to focus on. CSR, customer segmentation, collaborative partnership. I need to focus on big data analytics. I need to focus on mobile technologies and the weaknesses in the internal control. So absorb them. Now you get the benefit of the 50 minutes, because when you start reading them, the exhibits, wherever you find a relevant information, you keep dumping that in the respective task. Now, this word processor will become very messy because you need to dump informations right on the word processor. Then after the 1 hour is over, this word processor will have every possible information you need. You're not going back to the exhibits in the remaining 3 hours, right? You need to dump the relevant information from the exhibit, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste from the exhibits to the word processor, or from the exhibits to the slides. But after 1 hour, you are not going back reading exhibits. Agree, disagree? After 1 hour, you are not going back reading exhibits. True? Agree? So in 1 hour, you need to refine the information. You need to copy paste the information to the word processor. So after 1 hour, which document will become the most important for you, where you will be spending time in the next 3 hours? The word processor or the slides, right? Or the slides, because we have to prepare slides as well. So in the remaining 3 hours, which area will become important for you? Response options. But if you don't have the dumping in the response options, what will you do in 3 hours? Tell me. If you don't have dumping in the word processor or on the slides, and what exactly will you do in 3 hours? You will go back to the exhibits. You will read exhibits again. You're wasting your time. So 50 minutes of reading time is to be utilized by dumping information. Is that clear to all of you? Is that beneficial? So if any student is going back to the exhibits in the last 3 hours, you're wasting your time. Because I don't like that approach that you go back to exhibits in the last 180 minutes. The last 180 minutes, you just have one window on the screen, which is primarily the word processor or the slides in this case. And you're just writing the answer by looking at the information you have dumped on the word processor. And once you have utilized the information, please delete the remaining information from the word processor. Don't leave any information on the word processor which is of no use. So at times when you copy paste, you might forget to delete it. So if you have utilized an information in your answer, delete the remaining information. Is that clear to all of you? So you need to be very focused on deleting information from the word processor as well. So, so far, so forth, I hope you're all clear. Let's move to the step number 2. Now, the step number 2 is you go with one by one each of the tasks. We have the first task in which you need to do the customer segmentation analysis, and you need to advise on the most appropriate ways you can segment the customer. Now, before I come to the word processor and I type my answer on word processor and I show you how you read the exhibits, let me do something extra for you. I'm copying the task 1A from my word processor, and I'm taking the task 1A to my support file, which I use for every day. I hope you can see in front of the screen the Word file. Can all of you see the Word file in front of your screen, which I keep sharing with you every day of the webinar? Can you all see that? Okay, good. Now, I'm just doing some extra analysis for which I'm using my Word file. But when I start writing the answer and when I start reading the exhibits, when I copy the information from the exhibit to the word processor, I will be doing it on the practice platform. But understand something which is critically important. I've just brought my first task here, the task 1, and I've just copied my first task here so I can discuss something extra with you, which will benefit you in the entire September-December 21 paper. So we are doing September-December 21 paper on the day 2 of this webinar. Okay, task 1A. I hope you can see that, right? Now, task 1A is asking us to prepare a briefing note. So first of all of you should be very clear about the format of the briefing note. Is there any document from where you can know the right way to put a briefing note? One source document is the examiner answer. You go to the examiner answer and you see, okay, how the examiner starts a briefing note and how he ends. Because that's the only two things you need to know in a format, right? Every format, what you need to know, how you start, how you end, that is it. What you put in the middle is the paragraph, and the headings in the paragraph, heading in the paragraph. That's common with every format. I hope you agree with me. What is different from one format to another format? The start and the end, true, false. What is different with every format? The start and the end? Yes. What you do in the middle of a format? Heading, paragraph, heading, paragraph, heading, paragraph. That is it, the normal answer. So you can go to the examiner answer and you can say, okay, I'll see how the examiner start a briefing note or how the examiner ends a briefing note. That's one. Is there any other document? Yes. Have I shared that with you on the day 1 of the webinar? Yes, that is formats in the Google Drive. Examining team has published an article, right, where they have given you information about the formats. So you can make use of the day 1 folder. And in the day 1 folder, you have the formats, which is published by the examining team for SBL. And you can know how to write a briefing note. So first of all, you should be very clear about the format. And I will just be making that clear shortly. Number 1, because probably will be spending on time on one task today and remaining task comes tomorrow, because we will know the case today. We will absorb the case today, so we can write the answers tomorrow. Briefing note, right? Number one. Second, what you need to do in the briefing note. First of all, you need to assess what? The value. The value of what? The value to Optima, right? Journal value? No, the value to the company of undertaking customer segmentation analysis. What value will Optima get by undertaking the customer segmentation analysis? If I journally write the value of customer segmentation analysis, what are benefits of customer segmentation analysis, and I don't link them to Optima, will that be the better way to present answer? If I just write journal benefits of customer segmentation analysis, but I'm not linking those journal benefits to Optima, that is extremely important. So you need to assess the value of undertaking the customer segmentation analysis, but the value for Optima, not journal benefits, right? Not journal benefits. And in the second part, you need to advise whom? Advise the most appropriate ways that Optima could segment its customer. What are the best ways to segment customers for Optima? So how can Optima segment its customers in order to target them more effectively? You have total 12 marks here, which is to be divided in 1 and 2 above. Now let's go down and see how to go about it. You have 12 marks here. Now 12 marks means that you have two parts. You need to assess the value to Optima of customer segmentation. And secondly, you need to tell the most appropriate ways to segment customers, right? Are these the two things? You need to tell the most appropriate ways to segment the customers, and you need to tell value to Optima of customer segmentation. In total, we have 12 marks. Now, 12 marks ideally means what? 12 marks divided by 2 marks per valid point explained is equal to 6 good points. 6 good points should be in your answer. 6 good points should be in your answer, right? 6 good points should be in your answer in accumulation, 1 and 2. Not 6 points for 1, not 6 points for 2. In accumulation, 6 points. Now, you can write 4 points in value of Optima. So when you are saying value to Optima, you can write 3 points for value to Optima, and you can write 3 points for the most appropriate ways. In total, you should have 6 points. Yes, you can either do 3 and 3 for each, or you can say 4 and 2, whatever. But you cannot say, okay, I'll write all the 6 points in value to Optima, and I will write a 0 point in most appropriate ways. That would be wrong. So how many points should be in total in your answer, irrespective of 1 and 2? Everyone, irrespective of 1 and 2, how many points you should have in your answer? 6. Is that a lot? Is that a lot? Just 3 values to Optima, for example, and just 3 ways to segment customers. Is that a lengthy answer? Not at all. But the critical part comes now. I believe the technical marks is just about understanding the marking scheme. The technical marks is just about understanding how much will you write. Now, I know I just need to write 6 good points. That is it. So if I write 6 good points, I am on track to fetch most of my technical marks. But am I gaining my professional marks? Let's go down with a critical analysis of that. Now, examiner is saying that to gain your professional marks, you need to demonstrate. Now, this is the key word. Professional marks are available. Leave that out. But every time the examiner says professional marks are available for Demonstrating. I hope you see this every time in the statement, right? Am I correct? Demonstrating, demonstrating. This is the key. This is the key. Professional marks are available. Leave that statement out. We know they are available, but available for what? Ask a question to yourself. They're available for what? They are available for demonstrating. What does demonstrating means? What is the literal meaning of the word demonstrating? Should it be demonstrated in your answer? Should it be part of your answer? Should it be the way you present the answer? You tone the answer? You structure your answer? Demonstrating, right? Try to understand this. Demonstrate means it should be part of your answer in terms of format, in terms of structure, in terms of tone, etc. It should be part of your answer, right? Either the tone, the format, the structure, and I'll just be shedding light on each one of them clearly, right? So demonstrate commercial acumen skill. Now, one student says, I know the definition of commercial acumen. Knowing the definition of commercial acumen will not do anything good for you in exam paper. A lot of time I've seen students that they learn the definitions of the skills. They learn the definition of commercial acumen. They learn the definition of communication. They learn the definition of evaluation. What is the sense of learning a definition of a skill when the examiner is asking you to demonstrate that? What benefit will you get out of learning the definition of skills? There are definitions given on skills by ACCA. They have told you what a skill consists of, but what is the value? If you know how to read the statement of the examiner. Now, if I'm sitting in the exam hall and I don't know what is to be done for commercial acumen, but examiner is telling me what is to be done. Examiner is saying, demonstrate commercial acumen skill. How? In showing awareness of the usefulness of the customer segmentation analysis to optima. How will I fetch my commercial acumen marks if I can demonstrate awareness? If I can demonstrate awareness of the usefulness of the customer segmentation analysis to optima. Now, as simple as that, it means that how will I fetch my skill marks? I will fetch my skill marks if I am able to demonstrate the value of customer segmentation to optima. Is that correct? If I can tell examiner, this is the value to optima, linked to the case study, sync to the case study, connected with the case study. But if I write the journal benefits of customer segmentation, 1, 2, 3, 4, but in the journal benefits, there is no correlation to optima. There is no connectivity to optima. There is no connection to optima. There is no synchronization to optima. Am I demonstrating awareness of the usefulness of customer segmentation to optima? Tell me. So should I be demonstrating the awareness of the usefulness to optima? From where does this awareness come from? This awareness will come from the case study. What is the benefit to optima of customer segmentation? Is that simple? So demonstrate the value of customer segmentation to optima, or what benefit will optima get out of customer segmentation? But what is the focus? What is the focus? Optima, company. So if your answer is linked to the company, to the context of the company, to the situation of the company, to the environment of the company, to the background of the company, you're scoring your professional marks. Am I correct? So you need to think about value to optima. So for that, what you need to do when you're thinking about value to optima, you need to connect the value to case, the situation given in case, the environment given in case, the information about optima given in case. So it's all about case connection. It's all about case sync. It's all about case connectivity is equal to scoring most of your professional marks here for demonstrating of commercial acumen. Now tell me, what is the sense of knowing the definition of commercial acumen? When the examiner is saying that you will get commercial acumen marks if you connect the value of customer segmentation to optima. Now, what is the sense of knowing the definition? Tell me, has the definition of commercial acumen benefited you here? When the examiner is telling you that you need to connect the value to optima, as simple as that. Are you clear, all of you? So is it important to read the demonstration? Is the examiner telling us what to demonstrate and how to demonstrate? So examiner will not leave you blank. Examiner will always tell you what to demonstrate, commercial acumen, and how to demonstrate. But the problem is that the student don't read how to demonstrate. And there's no, oh, I know the definition of commercial acumen and then I'll just apply the definition. No. Now tell me, all of you tell me, is it important to read how to demonstrate? Is it extremely important to read how to demonstrate? Will that give you an opportunity to score most of the 3 marks? Can you fetch most of the 3 marks here for the skill 3 marks? Are you all clear? Let's do one final analysis and then that we'll do this skill analysis every possible time. So at least you find a transparent definition of a skill by the end of the day 2 and day 3 of this webinar. Now, the final thing, 3 marks you have, right, for commercial acumen, where you need to demonstrate. You need to demonstrate the value of customer segmentation to optima. And I'll just be writing the answer and telling you the good answer and the bad answer. The one which has the professional marks and one which don't have the professional marks. Just wait for a few minutes on that. Okay, 3 marks, commercial acumen, demonstrate the value of customer segmentation to optima, right? So that's the key. Not just writing the value of segmentation, but value of segmentation to optima. So that's connecting with the case study. Now, how would you fetch your 3 marks? Number 1, connecting each value you write to optima. So if you connect each value you write to optima and you justify why this is important, why this is important to optima. So if you write a benefit of customer segmentation, you justify why this customer segmentation is of importance to optima, is important to optima. You're fetching your 2 marks, technical marks, but you're also gaining professional marks at the end of the case study. So connecting each value you write to optima, number 1. Number 2, put answer in short paras with headings. So each para should not be more than 2 to 3 sentences long. That's what the examining teams tell us, sentences long. And each para should be headed. So when you write a benefit, put the heading of the benefit, and under the benefit heading, write a paragraph. And in that paragraph, explain why this benefit is important to Optima. So you should have shorter paragraphs with headings, then use the right format, which is basically the briefing note. Use the right format and avoid repeating information in your answer. That is the definition of fetching 3 out of 3, because the definition of 3 out of 3 is what? The definition of 3 out of 3 is connecting. And then this part is known as journal professionalism. I've covered this even in my December 21 webinar, journal professionalism. Put your answer in short paragraphs with headings, use the right format, and avoid repetition. Examiner says the journal professionalism is part of your professional marks. So journal professionalism and connecting each value to the Optima, because that's where the tone is. That's where the tone is. Tone is equal to commercial acumen. So if any student connect the value to Optima, and any student who demonstrates the journal professionalism, are you fetching 3 out of 3? Tell me. So is everyone clear what is the breakup of 3 marks? Will you be in a better position to fetch 3 out of 3? So are you clear how you should read a statement? How you should read a statement of professional marks? Have anyone gained something out of this? Have you got any benefit which you don't know before the day 2 of the webinar? Because that is extremely important. Any incremental marks, any incremental opportunity which you are gaining from this webinar when your exams are just a week away. So is it good to know the definition of a skill, or is it good to read the statement of the examiner? What is good, the definition or the examiner statement? To read the examiner statement. Do you honestly agree with it by the way I've demonstrated that? Because I'm not forcing it on you, right? Because if you still likes the definitions, then you like it. I cannot do anything about it. But I hope you honestly agree with me that reading the statement has the clue. And are you clear with journal professionalism? Will you be able to demonstrate the journal professionalism? Because examiner love to find the answer in the right format. Examiner love to find the answer in headings and short paragraphs. And examiner love to find an answer which avoid repetition. And along with that, it has been connected with the skill. Right now, let's do another. Let's take another example, 1B. Before we come to writing the answers and reading the exhibits, we have plenty of time today and tomorrow, right? So can we do an exercise on 1B as well? Further, this was 1A, right? I hope you're all clear with 1A. How many points to write in 1A? 12 divided by 2, 6 points. And I hope you're all clear with the demonstration of the skill. Okay, can we do the same exercise on 1B? And then the other parts, right? Let's go down with task 1B. Okay, let's copy the task 1B. Let's see how can we gain the professional marks in the task 1B. Okay, task 1B. Let's go back to my practice platform. In the practice platform, let's copy the task 1B. Okay, in the task 1B, this is what you need to do. 3 marks, you take it back to your Word file and you copy the task here. Okay, I hope you can all see the task 1B here. Let's take it to the fresh page. Okay, in the task 1B, we are more focused on breakup of the technical marks, and then with that breakup, we are also focused on the professional marks. I hope this understanding of the task and the understanding of the professional marks will really benefit you when we start reading the exhibits today and tomorrow, and start writing an answer which is linked with what we have discussed. Okay, task 1B on your screen. let's do a quick analysis on this because we understood a lot of things now. Prepare 2 slides. So is the slides given in the exam paper? Yes, we're not worried about it. Prepare 2 slides with accompanying notes. So we have the slides in accompanying notes. We're not worried about what is the format of the slide. If we should not learn the format of the slide. The good thing is the format of the slides is given to us, so no tensions here, right? Okay, what is to be done on slides in the accompanying note? Which explain what? Explain why it is of strategic importance to Optima to demonstrate a strong focus on CSR4. Why it's important for Optima to demonstrate a strong CSR. For whom? For the shareholders? No. For the customer and staff. Why it's important to Optima to demonstrate a strong CSR for customers and staff? And why it's important for Optima to demonstrate a strong CSR for its wider stakeholder. So 2 things. So probably, not probably, for sure, my slide 1 and my slide 2. My slide 1 will have why it is of strategic importance to demonstrate strong CSR for customers and staff. And my slide 2 will have why it is of strategic importance for Optima to demonstrate strong CSR for its wider stakeholders, wider external stakeholders. And is the examiner giving us examples like investors? So the benefit to investors, government, and the wider community. Now read the question again. The question is saying why. So if your answer doesn't have why, it's useless. Why it's of strategic importance to Optima. So again, it has to be connected with a case. Why it's important to Optima to demonstrate CSR. So why it's important for Optima to demonstrate CSR for its customer? Why it's important for Optima to demonstrate CSR for its investors, government, community? What will you get out of it? What importance will you get out of it if you are demonstrating CSR for customer? Will generally you get benefits if you demonstrate CSR for customers and staff? Do you get staff loyalty? Do you get customer retentions? But if I say staff loyalty, should I connect that with a case study? If I say customer retention, should I connect that with a case study? If I say shareholder confidence will boost up, should I connect that with a case study? If I am writing a journal benefit of CSR, at least I should connect that with a case study to make it specific. Are you clear? Are you agree? So every student know why it is important for a company to demonstrate CSR for the customer, right? Every student know why it's important for a company to demonstrate CSR for its employee. Why it's important for a company to demonstrate CSR for the government, for the community, because the community will love you. The community will love buying your products. The community will feel that you are a good company. Your reputation as an organization will improve up. I hope you all know the journal benefits of CSR, right? But should that be linkable to Optima? Yes. So how many marks I have in total? 10. So can I keep 5 marks for my slide number 1? 5 marks. So in 5 marks divided by 2 marks, I should have 3 points for customers and staff. So how many importance I need to write for customers and staff? 3, right? Not 2.5, 3. Okay, and the same goes for the second part, 5 marks. Control C, 5 marks, 2 marks, 3 points for wider community. So how many points should I be having on my slides for the wider stakeholders? Right? 6 points in total again, right? 10 marks answer. Now understand one thing critically. When you write a slide, on a slide you give a bullet. For example, you say importance to customer, number 1, number 2, number 3. but then you explain them in the speaker note. So in the speaker note, how many paragraphs will you have? Because you need to write 3 importance. So how many paragraphs will you have in the speaker notes for 3 importances? 3. And how many bullets will you have on a slide? 3 bullets, right? But slides only have bullets. The speaker notes have the paragraph. I hope you are clear with that, right? Because a lot of times the student puts paragraphs on a slides as well, right? Just let me make clear here. When you're making a slide, the slide only have bullets. The speaker notes have the commentary. The speaker notes have the commentary of the bullets. Is that clear to all of you? So slides only have bullets. The speaker notes have the commentary of the bullet. So if you want to write 3 points, you will first give those points in bullets on a slide, and then you will convert them into a paragraph form in the speaker note. So you need 3 points for the slide 1, you need 3 points for the slide 2, and you need to tell why it is important for Optima to have a strong CSR for its customer and staff. Is that clear? Are you understanding the technical part of the question, all of you? Is that an easier question? Generally, that's a pretty easier question asking you for the benefits of a strong CSR for the company, for the customers, and for the wider stakeholders, right? Okay, let's move on to the professional marks. Professional marks are available for demonstrating. So again, we ignore the first part. We just start our analysis from demonstrating. Again, we can see this word, demonstrating. What are we demonstrating? Communication skill. I should not know the definition of communication skill. I should only look at why the examiner. No, not realistically. See, when I'm delivering a webinar like this, see, can you see the bullets on my slides, all of you? Can you see the bullets on my slides? Right? But because the webinar is being delivered to the audience, so I don't need to make the speaker notes, because my speaker notes are where? My speaker notes are here, right? I know what to speak on the bullet number 1. I know what to speak on the bullet number 2. I know what to speak on the bullet number 3. But yes, when you're preparing yourself to deliver a presentation and you are very new to giving presentation, I remember when I used to give presentations at the start of my teaching career, I used to prepare my notes that, okay, for this presentation, I will speak this. But now with experience, the element of the speaker notes goes away, because when you put a content on a slide, you know what to speak. But yes, still speaker notes are made by presenters who are new and who are delivering presentations for the first time. They still do that. I hope you're clear with that. This was a question being asked by someone, Alana. I hope you're clear on that, right? Okay, let's move back. In the exam, you have to do the speaker notes, right? Okay. Demonstrating what? Communication skills? Should I know the definition of communication skills? No. Is the examiner telling me how to demonstrate the communication skill? Yes or no? Just like commercial acumen. So demonstrate communication skills in concisely informing the board members of Optima of the strategic importance to the social responsibility. 3 marks. So if any student is not concisely informing, communication, concisely informing the board. Look at this word. So every paragraph of a speaker note should be concise, yet clear. I think 2 sentences. Every paragraph should not be more than 2 sentences, concise, because a normal length we take in SBL is like 2 to 4 sentences. So I think the maximum lengthy paragraph in SBL is like 4 sentences long, not more than that. But if the examiner is saying concisely, I think I should keep my paragraph to not more than 2 sentences, 2 maximum, not 1, One looks too short. 2. In concisely informing the board of the importance of its CSR. What is the importance of the CSR Optima is doing for its customer? What is the importance of CSR Optima is doing for its investors? What is the importance of the CSR Optima is doing for its staff? Is that clear? So how will you fetch the professional marks here? If you concisely inform. But if you write a very lengthy answer, if you write a report rather than a slide, if you write a report rather than a slide, are you fetching this marks? Because students are very aggressive when it comes to lengthy writings. You don't understand, examiner is saying concisely. So what should be an ideal length of a point you develop for customer and staff? Ideally, each point explained in the speaker note should be maximum 2 sentences long. I'm again saying 2 sentences long. If you go more than this, you're spoiling your professional marks. Is that clear to all of you? So should I know the definition of communication skill, or should I know what the examiner wants me to do for communication skill? So how many of you learn the definitions of skills? And how many of you will not be revising it before the exams now? How many of you learn definitions of skills? Tell me. Is there anyone in the webinar who says, yes, I do learn definitions? Okay, no one is claiming that. So do you believe we can survive in the exam without knowing the definition of a skill? Is the examiner telling us how the skill is to be demonstrated? Good. So demonstrating the communication skills and concisely informing. So if I do concisely informing, am I fetching my 3 marks? Yes. Ideally, each point should be explained in this way. Now, finally, for 3 marks is equal to concisely informing plus, to fetch the 3 marks, is it just about concisely informing? No, it's also about using the right format, making slides in bullets, and speaker notes in para. And so should I need to demonstrate my journal professionalism as well? If any student, while he or she was making a slide, on the slide you put a paragraph, is that professionalism, that on a slide you put a paragraph? You never put a paragraph on a slide, right? You put bullets on a slide. You put the paragraph in the speaker note. So should you use the right format in the right way? Is that extremely important to fetch the 3 marks? So is everyone clear with the definition of a 3 marks in 1B? Right? So just let's move on. Let's take one more exercise. I hope you're enjoying this exercise of a professional marks and how they need to be demonstrated. And you're gaining something out of it, because then reading the exhibits is like a story. And after the exhibits are read, we just need to dump the way we write an answer. But again, I will not be writing the 100% answers. I will just be writing a point or 2 points just to give you a start. So if I'm writing answer for 1A, I'll just be writing, instead of 6 points, 2 points. Or if I'm writing the answer for 1B, instead of writing 6 points, I'll write 2 points just to give you a start. But again, we have plenty of time today and tomorrow for reading the exhibits and putting the answer. And how do you dump information into the word processor? You need to learn a lot. You need to learn a lot yet. Okay, let's move on. Okay, should we move to the next task? Task number 2. Okay, let's do the task 2. Let's see what was asked for in the task 2. Let's see, are we prepared for task 2? Okay, let's go back quickly to my word processor on the practice platform, and let's bring the task 2 here. Word processor, task 2, and the task 3 and the task 4. I'm taking all my tasks, right, to my Word file, and just, I think in 10 minutes, we'll finish it off now. Okay, task 2 first. I've copied them down. Let's go first for task 2A and 2B. I hope you can see back the Word file on your screen. Please confirm that. Okay, quite a big looking task. We have 2 divisions of professional marks. Let's go down reading it and let's see how to structure things down here. Okay, now the next thing is we need to write a report in the task 2A and B. Now, when you're writing a report, you should know the format of the report. Again, the format of the report can be evaluated from the examiner answer, how you start the report, how you end the report. Again, you're not worried about the middle part of the report. That's just like headings and paragraphs. Or you can go to the article on formats given to you on the Google Drive day 1, and you can open the document and see, okay, how to write a report. Okay, report to the finance director. That's what you're doing here, right? Number 1. And we know reports are a bit lengthy because you need to put content in it. What to put in report A and what to put in report B. Let's go down with analysis of A and B. So my report will have A and B together. Analyze. Okay, I need to analyze the potential opportunities and the potential threats. Which optima must consider? Optima must consider. Again, connecting with the case, syncing with the case in relation to undertaking a collaborative partnership with the Department of Health to deliver the BFIT program. So what are opportunities and threat to optima of this collaborative partnership? They must have entered into the exhibits with the Department of Health to deliver a BFIT program. Pretty simple. Number 1, I just need to look at the opportunities and threats, not strengths and weaknesses, because one student can be so lame that he applies the whole SWOT model here. Just opportunities and threat, right? Opportunities and threats of what? Sorry, just 1 minute. Opportunities and threats of the collaborative partnership with the Department of Health to deliver the BFIT program. Opportunities and threat. And this is what you're thinking about, right? So there must be information in the case study about the collaborative partnership, and you need to be very concerned about it. And you need to think about what opportunities will Optima get and what threats will Optima get of this collaborative partnership. Optima, right? So you need to focus on Optima right here. How many marks we have? 13 marks. So divide that by 2 marks each for each opportunity and threat. I'm using O and T, opportunities and threat. So each 13 marks divided by 2 marks for each opportunities and threat is equal to 6 points, or roughly 7 points to be on the safe side, 7 points in total. Now you can write more opportunities and less threats. It's up to you. You write 4 opportunities, or you write 3 threats, or you write 5 opportunities and 2 threats, but you cannot have 0. Right? So it's up to you how many threats you want to write and how many opportunities you want to write. It's totally up to you, right? But that is 7 points in total. Is that clear? So are we focusing on the whole SWOT model? No, we're just focusing on the opportunities and threats. Number 1. Number 2, you need to demonstrate what? You need to demonstrate the analysis skill, because the question says analyze. So you need to demonstrate the analysis skill. Should I know the definition? No, because examiner is telling me how. Demonstrate analysis skill in considering and reflecting on the available evidence relating to the proposed collaborative partnership. So there must be an exhibit which tells me about the proposed collaborative partnership. And about that proposed collaborative partnership, I need to consider, in considering and reflecting on the available evidence relating to the proposed collaborative partnership. Control C, and I bring it down. Now listen to me very, very carefully. How would you fetch the analysis marks here? Examiner is saying in order to fetch the analysis marks, analysis skill marks, you should analysis marks in considering. So you will consider and you will reflect on the available evidence relating to the proposed collaborative partnership. So you just need to be within the boundary of the evidence given to you. And within the boundary of the evidence, you will consider and you will reflect on the opportunities and the threats of this proposed collaborative partnership. Consider. So again, it's the case study and reflect. So we know analysis means looking at the complete picture. Evaluation means looking at the complete picture. Now, this is a complete picture because we're not just looking at the opportunities from the evidence, we're also looking at the threats from the evidence. So considering means complete picture. Reflecting means giving an unbiased opinion. If I just look at the opportunities and I write a report to the director that these are the opportunities, the director will be so happy. Oh, this is a wonderful program. No. Am I just analyzing the opportunities? Analyzing means looking at both the sides, left and right. Analyzing means looking at the black and white. Analyzing means looking at the good and bad. Analyzing means looking at the pros and cons. So analyzing is the literal meaning of the word. Analyzing means looking at the complete picture. Same is the meaning of evaluation. So considering and reflecting on the available evidence. And what are we considering from the available evidence? Opportunities and threats. So are we looking at the whole picture? Yes. So if any student consider and reflect the opportunities and threat from the evidence given, you're fetching your analysis marks. But listen to me very, very carefully. The analysis requires conclusion. And you're writing a report, wonderful. When you're writing a report, the report itself contains a conclusion. But even if you're not writing a report and the examiner is saying evaluate something, or if you're not even writing a report and the examiner is saying analyze something, because you're analyzing the pros and the cons, the opportunities and the threats, so you need to conclude on it. So analysis requires conclusion because you are writing a report in this requirement. So at the end of the report, a conclusion is always given. A conclusion is always given. So you should utilize the conclusion at the end of report to conclude on the proposed collaborative partnership. Is this partnership good or bad for the company? If it has more opportunities, then it's good. If it has more threats, then it's bad. So you should conclude on the proposed collaborative partnership, looking at if you wrote more opportunities and you wrote less threats, then you're concluding it's good. If you wrote more threats and less opportunities, you say it's bad. Are you getting it? So is conclusion embedded part of a report writing? Yes. But over here, you need to do the analysis. So analysis itself requires a conclusion. But you will give conclusion not after part A. You will give conclusion at the end of the report. Are you clear? Because in a report, you have to do the part A and the part B. So where will you give the conclusion? In the middle of the report? Will you give conclusion in the middle of A and B? No. You will give conclusion at the end of the report. Are you getting this? So first you do the A part, then you do the B part, and then you give a conclusion, right? Clear? So if any student is considering from the evidence, the opportunities and threat, you're fetching your marks. So you're just considering O and T from the evidence available. So are you taking any hypothetical assumptions for O and T? No, not conclusion for both parts, right, Alana? Look at the second part. The second part is asking for, yes, the second part is also asking for evaluate. So you have to give conclusion for both. So if the second part would have asked for recommend or something like explain, then you would not have given conclusion. So you will give a conclusion overall for A and B. And I will tell you what exactly should be the length of conclusion. So second part is asking for evaluation as well. So, and the good part is, Alana, you're writing a report. So irrespective whether the examiner is asking for analyze or evaluate, a report ends with a conclusion. A report ends with a conclusion, irrespective whether the examiner is asking you to analyze or evaluate or not. I hope you're clear on that. But yes, in this question, we have an analyze, we have an evaluate, so we have to give a conclusion for A and B both. I hope you're clear. Good, thank you. Okay, moving on. So if any student consider O and T from the information available, are you on the right track to fetch most of the professional marks by demonstrating the analysis skill? But if any student write hypothetical ONTs, out of case ONTs, you think about journal ONTs, are you fetching marks? So you need not to bring your hypothetical analysis here, right? If you are bringing your hypothetical analysis, you're not fetching marks, because examiner is saying you just need to look into the available evidence. And from the available evidence, you need to judge the ONTs. So are we going out of the evidence? No, in the evidence. I hope you're understanding, right? So that's the way you fetch 4 marks here. I hope you're clear on demonstrating analysis skill. So let's do a key conclusion. So if we have 4 marks is equal to considering O and T from the info available, not out of it, not out of it, plus right format report, plus headings, short paras. So you need to demonstrate the journal professionalism when you're writing the part A answer. In the part A answer, you're giving headings and short paragraphs. Opportunities is a main heading, but under opportunities, there will be subheadings. Threats is the main heading, then under threats, there will be subheadings, right? So a lot of headings, shorter paragraphs, putting the right format, which is a report, and considering the O and Ts from the available information, that is fetching you most of the 4 marks. Are you clear with this, everyone? Should move on to this next part. But also tell me, are you gaining something out of this discussion? Is it really benefiting you? Because I'm the speaker, right? So I'm just speaking, but you are the stakeholders. Are you benefiting out of this interaction? Are you getting something? Okay, yes, I can do it. I will do it. Okay, that's great. And have you learned something new, which you were not doing a week before exams? So now when you sit down to do the papers, will you do them in a different way, in a better way? Now tell me honestly, before I just quickly move on, understanding the requirement, the technical and professional side in the reading and planning time, is that crucial? How much time you give to the understanding of the requirement? I believe if you increase the time on understanding the requirement and the professional mark, can you do a better answer? Can you do a better answer? But students are in so hurry in reading the requirements, in reading the professional marks, that they don't understand anything. And the bad thing they do is the professional marks. And I believe students score very less on professional marks if you fail in SBL paper. And any student who passed the SBL paper scores good on professional marks. And I always tell my students, aim for at least 12 to 15 marks out of 20. And it's possible. I hope you're understanding. Professional marks gaining is possible, right? It's easy. It's easy. It's easy, provided you know how to do it. Okay, let's move on to the task B. Explain. What explain? What is meant by value for money? Is that like putting a definition? Explain what is meant by value for money obligation of the Department of Health. So everyone knows the definition of value for money, the 3 E's, right? Just putting that definition, a pretty simple marks in SPL context, right? 3 E's. And then the examiner says, as mentioned in the proposal. So the value for money as mentioned in the proposal. So are you giving an out of case definition? No, you need to think about what is meant by value for money in the proposal, not out of the proposal. So you generally know the definition, right? But you should not write a very rote learned definition. You should adapt your definition to as mentioned in the proposal. I'll just come back to it. And then the examiner says, and I hope you can all see the and evaluate. What we need to evaluate? The challenges for Optima in delivery of the BFIT program. Now, BFIT program is part of that collaborative partnership, which you are doing with the health department. So what challenges will you face when you're delivering this BFIT program as an organization? Let's look into the breakup of the technical marks. First, you need to explain what is meant by value for money. But the better part is as mentioned in the proposal. That's the critical part of it. Bracket open, as mentioned in the proposal. Just let's keep 2 marks for it out of the 10, because meant is like 2 marks, not more than that. Explain what is meant by the value for money as mentioned in the proposal. So if anyone writes just a rote learned definition of 3 E's, are you fetching your 2 marks? No, probably maximum 1 mark. So what is meant by value for money? So adapt the definition you know about VFM. Adapt the definition you know about VFM in the context of the proposal to fetch most of the 2 marks. Am I correct? But if you just write a journal definition of VFM you learned in the AA paper, the F8 paper, and you say, oh, just I get 2 marks, no. So adapting the definition is the key here, not a rote learned definition. Are you all clear? Next. Okay, challenges, potential challenges for Optima in delivering the BFIT program. So what potential challenges for Optima in delivering the BFIT program? How many marks are we left with? 8 marks. So divided by 2 is equal to 4 challenges. 4 challenges in maximum, right? So 4 challenges in maximum, because we're left with 8 marks, because we've already taken the 2 marks in what is meant by this, right? Okay, that's great. So potential challenges. Challenges means obstacles, limitations, barriers, right, in delivering the BFIT program. So what challenges will you have? So this is to be evaluated. Challenges evaluated means you have to conclude on that as well, right? So these challenges are to be evaluated. Evaluated. So every time you write evaluated, you have to give a conclusion of that as well. Okay, next. Demonstrating. What are we demonstrating? Evaluation skills in assessing the challenges of meeting the public sector performance criteria. What challenges will Optima be facing in meeting the public sector performance criteria? So will the public sector performance criteria be given in the case study? Definitely. So what challenges will you face as an organization in meeting the public sector performance criteria? You need to assess that. So assessing the challenges. So how would you get these professional marks? If you assess the challenges in meeting the public sector performance criteria. So assess the challenges of meeting the public sector performance criteria. So any student who connect the challenges you are writing for 8 marks with the public sector performance criteria. So if any student who connects the challenges you are writing for 8 marks with the public sector performance criteria given in the exhibits, you are better evaluating you are better evaluating challenges against another student who is not connecting, challenges to the public sector performance criteria. Read this statement and tell me, are you clear with this? Just read it in like 5 seconds. Tell me, are you clear with what I wrote in the bracket? 2 students, 1 student, second student, and tell me, are you clear? Right? So you need to connect the challenges in the context of the case and in context of the performance criteria. So this must be given somewhere, right, in the case study. So if you are connecting the challenges in the context of the performance criteria for Optima, you are writing a better challenge for 8 marks. So assess the challenge. Now, again, we know when you are assessing the challenge, assessing or evaluating the challenge, there might be many challenges, right? Means to conclude. And again, you're writing a report. In the report, conclusion will come at the end of report. Means to conclude. In the report, conclusion will come at the end of the report. So you have to conclude. So now when you're writing a report, see how you are structuring the report. Just look at this for 1 minute. If I'm writing a report, how would it look like? I'll say report, whatever the format is, we'll come back to the format. But in the report, you have the first part A, and we have the second part B, right? Something like this. I'll just show you the format of the report, how to write it. Okay, in the A part, what we are looking at? We are looking at the opportunities and threats, right? We are looking at the opportunities and threats to the collaborative partnership, right? And in the second part, we are looking at challenges in delivering the BFIT program. See, this is how you give the broad headings in the report first. Then under the broad headings, you give the subheadings. So you put the first heading, then you come to the second one. You put the next heading, opportunities. And you put the next heading, threats. Now, we had how many marks? I think we roughly had opportunities and threats, 7 points in total. So it's up to you how many you want to write. So suppose one student write 3 opportunities, 1, like the first one, then you write the second one, and then you write the third one, right? Then you get to the threats. In the threats, you write the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, because you need to have 7 points. You can write more opportunities, less threats. It's totally up to you, right? I have no idea how many opportunities and threats are there in the case study. So I'm just making a structure. Opportunities and threats, right? Every opportunity will have a heading. So when you say the first one, there will be a heading. And you write under this, right? You write under this paragraph, right? Then you have the second, and you write under this heading. Then you have the third one, you write under this. Then the first one, you write under this. The second one, you write under this. Headings and short paragraphs is what the examiner is looking for, right? I hope you've read the article, 10 Things to Learn from September 2018 Exams as part of the Day 1 Google Drive folder. Okay, now you come to the second part, challenges. How many challenges we need to write? Okay, first of all, what is meant by the program? So the first heading would be meaning of VFM. And after the meaning of VFM, you come to the challenges. Challenges, right? And in the challenges, how many challenges we have to give for the first one, the second, the third, and the fourth, right? You give the challenges. And after you finished off, you come down with the report conclusion. Now, in the conclusion, you will write a conclusion, but how lengthy a conclusion should be, because examiner says at times when the student is writing a conclusion, it seems like you're starting to write another answer. Conclusion maximum should be 2 to 3 sentences long and simply sum up the key point, simply sum up the judgment, simply sum up the judgment about challenges and about opportunities and threats from the collaborative partnership. I'll show you how to write it down most likely tomorrow when I'm writing the answer. So I'll just formulate a conclusion for you as well. But this is how lengthy the conclusion should be at the end of the report, right? 2 to 3 sentences, right? A sentence is where you put a full stop, right? And not a line. Line is one line. A sentence can be more than one line because a sentence means where you put a full stop. But yes, if you forget to put a full stop, your one sentence could be even half a page. But that's technically wrong. Examiner says student write very lengthy conclusions. The conclusion has to come at the end of the report. And in this case, you need to analyze and assess. So you have to give conclusion for both part A and part B. Are you clear with this? How to go down with the answer structure? So understanding the requirement really results in the better answer, right? Yes, yes, yes. In the report, when you give the introduction in the report, the introduction covers both the A and B part, right? Introduction covers both A and B part. And then in the report, normally a report starts with a header, to, from, subject, and at times you even put a date. If not, you can ignore that out in exam paper. You have a very formal structure to report, right? To, from, date, subject. So that's a very formal introduction. The subject of the report, the date. You can even avoid date in exam if you want to. And you say to, from, subject, and you start with the introduction. So that's quite a typical format of a report you can go with. There are numerous formats of report writings, right? This is the simplest one. And you go down writing the answer. Is that clear? Okay, let's move on to the next quick requirements, finishing off the task and the analysis of the technical and professional marks. So when we go into day 3, we're directly reading the exhibits, dumping information, and writing the answer. And that would be more quicker in day 3. Okay, task 3A and B. Okay, briefing note. So you have to prepare a briefing note again. We'll see the format of that when we are writing the answer. And a briefing note for the finance director, A and B, pretty simple part, and then one demonstration. Okay, in the first part, you need to discuss the opportunities again and the threats. So pretty simple looking part again. But this time, the opportunities and threats of implementing the big data analytics. So what are opportunities and threats for implementing the big data analytics to Optima? So bullet, and opportunities and threats of implementing the big data analytics, control C, control V, is equal to 12 marks divided by 2 is equal to 6 in total. Opportunities and threats. So 6 in total opportunities and threats, right? Okay. Again, but those opportunities and threats should be connected with Optima, case specific. That's the key of the day 2 webinar. Then you get down to the second requirement, discuss. What are we discussing? Benefits. Okay, benefits to Optima and the members for using the mobile technology. So benefits for Optima and members for using the mobile technology to market and deliver its services. Control C, you bring it down and you say, okay, benefits to Optima and the members for using the mobile technology. We have 8 marks divided by 2 marks. 2 is equal to 4 benefits in all. So 4 benefits in all, right? Either you write more for Optima and less for members. So benefits have to be written for Optima as a company and for its members, right? So you can write more for one and less for the other, but don't skip any. So benefits, right? One is the benefits and one is the opportunities and threats. A pretty simple looking part, right? I think in the whole paper, September, December 21, opportunities, threats, benefits is like the focal area. And that saves a lot of time when you're working on opportunities and threats because they have to come out of the case study. Demonstrating. We're demonstrating the skepticism skill, but again, the examiner is telling us how. Skepticism skill in questioning the opinions and assertions made in the meeting about the use of big data analytics. So that means in one of the exhibit, there must be a meeting between the board members and they must be arguing. Some must be liking big data, some might not be. There must be some opinions about big data from director A, director B, director C. So you are questioning the opinions of the people, opinions and assertions made in the meeting about the use of big data analytics. So means there is a divided opinion and mobile technology. Presenting evidence to challenge these in a professional way. So if you want to score your skeptical marks, skepticism marks, what you need to do, you need to question the opinions. You need to challenge the opinions. You will not just like the opinions. You say, oh, Mr. A, you're giving a very good opinion. Mr. B, you're giving a very good opinion. End the answer. No. You need to criticize them. You need to challenge them. Not necessarily the opinion of Mr. A is right for mobile technology. He might be giving a wrong opinion about mobile technology, or he might be giving a wrong opinion about big data. And you say, no, he's absolutely wrong. He doesn't know anything about mobile technology. He doesn't know how mobile technology can benefit Optima. Whatever he's saying is wrong. Either he's saying wrong about mobile technology, or he's saying something wrong about the benefit of that to Optima. So you need to be critical, question the opinion, challenge the opinion given by the board members on big data and mobile technology. So you need to question them. That means argue, be against the opinions, that's how you can tone the answer. So you're not just liking them, you're not just appreciating them, rather you are challenging them, you're criticizing them, you are against them. That's the way you develop a skeptical skill. So question the opinion, right? And you get 4 marks for that. But again, with that, you have your journal professionalism. That is the right format. That is short, that is headings and short paras. Headings plus short paras. So that's equally important to get most of your 4 marks. Is that clear? But if any student is not challenging the opinions or criticizing the opinion or going against the opinions, you're just writing an appreciating answer, you're just writing a supportive answer, or you're just writing journal benefits, or you're just writing journal opportunities and threats, you're not challenging the viewpoints of the people, right? You're not giving a good answer. So is that clear? Okay, let's move on. So examiner was telling us demonstrating, right? But I'll just come to a wrap up quickly, but just let's finish off the task 4, which is the smallest one. Task 4, just one requirement in task 4. So that was the smallest in the whole exam paper. Let's go down with task 4 and then wrap up the discussion for a fresh start for day 3 then. Okay, task 4. Report for the next board meeting. Again, a report evaluates the impact of the weakness and recommends the action to address the weakness for 15 marks. Pretty simple. So you just need to write a report whereby you have 15 marks divided by 2. Quite a lengthy question because you need to evaluate. So I'll just stick to 7. You just need to get down with 7 weaknesses and 7 actions is equal to 15 marks. It's a pretty lengthy question. Don't get to 8, right? Because you just need to write a report. You need to evaluate. You need to give a conclusion. Mostly conclusion fetch you 1 mark. Conclusion fetch you 1 mark. So 15 divided by 2 is 7. So you write 7 weaknesses, 7 marks, 7 actions, 7 marks, and get down almost to 14. Evaluate the potential impact of the weakness. So be critical. Is the examiner asking you? That means in the case there will be weaknesses. There will be weaknesses in the internal control system. You need to pick up a weakness. You need to pick up a weakness and justify the potential impact of the weakness. You're not just wasting time explaining why it is a weakness. You can do so if you want to justify a point before you come to the impact. But if any student just tell why it is a weakness and not explaining the impact, that is the worst student. But if any student to develop a point tells this is why it is a weakness and then tells the impact, you're a better student. So in the case there will be a weakness in the system, you need to pick up the weakness and justify the potential impact of the weakness for Optima. What will be the impact for Optima of the weakness to fetch your 1 mark per weakness? Then for each weakness, recommend an action which is suitable in context of case and beneficial to Optima. So try to write action which is suitable for Optima, beneficial for Optima. So for each weakness, recommend an action, and each action is worth 1 mark. Each action is worth 1 mark. I hope this is pretty simple question. You do this so much time in the AA paper as well, evaluating the weaknesses, right? So that's how you go down with it. Demonstrating evaluation skills to objectively appraise. So you need to demonstrate the evaluation skills. Again, you need to give a conclusion to objectively appraise the implication of the weaknesses identified and to make well-reasoned recommendations. See this? This is exactly what I wrote above. Bullet. To objectively appraise the implication. You're not siding the company, right? You're not taking the side of the management. You're not saying, oh, whatever the management is saying is right. Objectively means unbiased. The implication of the weakness. What is the implication of the weakness to Optima? Will that affect their reputation? Will that affect their customer loyalty? Will that affect their future sales? What impact? The impact could be financial, right? The impact could be non-financial, like customer, like stakeholders, like reputation. So the impact could be financial, impact could be non-financial, but you're thinking about what impact it will have on Optima. So objectively appraising the implication and making well-reasoned recommendation. How would you make well-reasoned recommendations? Only if you connect them with Optima, right? So you need to objectively appraise implications. What is the impact of the weakness for Optima, either financial or non-financial? So you need to think about an impact for Optima, financial or non-financial. And secondly, well-reasoned recommendations. This is what exactly I wrote above, right? Well-reasoned recommendations in context of Optima or in context of the case scenario. So telling something which is good for Optima, telling a recommendation which suits Optima, which is better for Optima, rather than writing a very journal action. So objectively appraising the implication and well-reasoned recommendation. That's how you fetch most of the 3 marks, right? Again, give a conclusion as the examiner is asking for evaluating. And even it's a report writing, which demands conclusion at the end of report, right? Short paras, headings, not repeating points, not repeating information or points. This is how you can fetch most of your professional marks. I hope you're fine with it, all of you. Okay. So I hope you like the analysis of the requirements, breakdown of the requirements, marks, how to fetch things up. No learning of the definitions, of skills. It's about reading the statement of the examiner, what exactly the examiner wants you to demonstrate and how. I hope the statement of demonstrating is pretty clear in exam, right? Just let's make a quick summary now and listen to the summary very carefully, because this will help us start the day 3 tomorrow. And on day 3, I will prefer when you come for day 3, number 1, you have read the exhibits. Number 2, you know information about customer segmentation. You know information about BFIT program. You know information about collaborative partnership. You know information about internal control weaknesses. You know information about mobile technology, big data analytics. That means you've read through the case study. I'll just assign you something for tomorrow, day 3, because that will really benefit us in the 2.5-hour session we have tomorrow to write some extracts of the answers, number 1, and to further ensure how we dump information from exhibits to word processor. I'll just set the agenda for tomorrow so that you exactly know how would this session connect with tomorrow. Just wait for that. Just first, let's put a quick summary of key learnings from day 2. Listen, because we discussed a lot, right? And there are some points which needs to be reinforced. Number 1, first of all, in the first 10 minutes of the reading and planning time, RAPT, ensure you copy paste the task into response options as demonstrated in the webinar. I hope that's fine, number 1. Number 2, in the later 50 minutes, you will read exhibits and dump information from exhibits to the word processors, to the response option, to the response option window, so that after the exhaustion of 1 hour, you have all information in response option to execute your answer, and not wasting time going again to exhibits. This will be demonstrated on day 3 of the webinar, right? Is that clear? Next, then marking scheme is pretty important. Almost 2 marks per valid point. Then The more important thing is learning the definition of professional skills is useless, as the examiner will tell you which skill to demonstrate and how. If any student clearly reads the statement of examiner for professional skills, uh, right after the right from the word demonstrate, you will be clear what to demonstrate and how. Examiner will exactly tell you how to implement the skill in your answer as guided in the webinar day 2. I hope you are clear with that, right? So it's about demonstrating the skill. The demonstration is given in the examiner sentence. If you read the examiner sentence the way we have done today, you are in a better position to know how to demonstrate. And if any student picks how to demonstrate, you will finally be demonstrating evaluation, commercial acumen, skepticism, or whatever. Next, to fetch most of your professional skill marks, ensure you demonstrate the skill in the manner the examiner is looking for, plus the journal professionalism, that is using the right format, headings, short paras, and not repeating same points again and again. Last, sync of the answer. If you are developing a point, like benefits or threats or opportunities or implication of weaknesses or actions or the challenges or the value of customer segmentation, etc. If you're developing a point like benefits, values, challenges, actions, opportunities, or implications, which are not linked to Optima or the information given in exam paper about Optima, or to the environment in which Optima operates, which is not linked to Optima or the information given in exam paper about Optima or to the environment in which Optima operates, and is a useless answer. A good answer is a good answer irrespective of the professional skills is the one linked to case study as much as possible, because if your answer is linked to case study and each point is linked to Optima, you stand at a higher chance. You stand at a higher chance of scoring most of your professional marks. Tell me, is that last statement critical? Because most of the time, what you are doing in a professional skill is connecting things with the case study. You are challenging the opinions of the director. You are looking at the benefits to Optima. You're looking at the values to Optima. Because most of the time when we read the statement of examiner, it was about connecting it to the case study, or it was about connecting it to the performance criteria, or it was about connecting it to something which is given in the case study. So I believe if you make a habit of connecting your answer with the case study, in that way, you are having a reasonable assurance that you're fetching most of your professional skill marks. The last thing, if the examining team asks to evaluate or assess, ensure you give conclusion at the end of the answer. You give conclusion at the end of the answer. Number one, evaluate or assess means to be critical, and evaluation and assess means to be critical, and looking at the complete picture, like pros and cons or opportunities and threats, etc. I hope these are key learnings that will benefit you from the day 2. That's extremely important. Now just let's set up the agenda tomorrow, because that's extremely important when you come for day 3, agenda day 3. I have pretty important things to address on agenda. Number 1 is right here. How would you make use of the copy paste from the exhibits to the response option? That's what I need to show you tomorrow. Examiner report, because you've seen the marking scheme today, so no marking schemes comes tomorrow. Examiner reports comes tomorrow. We need to spend a lot of time on that. And the more important thing is writing the answer exercise. Now, because I need to give a lot of time to examiner report, I need to give a lot of time copying the information from the exhibit and dumping. I might do 50% of that. I will not be reading all the exhibits. We have constraint of time. I will not be dumping all the information. I might dump information for 1A and 1B, or 2A and 2B, and say, okay, that you understood, do the rest yourself, right? And we move on. I need to write an answer. So I might write answer for 1A and 1B, or 3A and 3B, something like that. But few points, just to give you an idea how you develop an answer and you continue. And then I need to be critical reading examiner comments of a stronger student and a weaker student. Now, if, for example, we cannot do all this on day 3, and I believe something important is left out from day 3 from the agenda, and that's extremely important, I will shift that remaining part to day 4, and we'll do that on day 4. And then the remaining part of the day 4 will be on the reinforcement of the models and theories, which is the agenda for day 4 and day 5. So, but if something is left from September-December 21 paper, we'll shift that to day 4 as well, because I believe understanding the paper, examiner report, practice platform, marking scheme, writing an answer is far more important than the reinforcement of the models and theories. I hope you all agree with me. But we still have a part of the day 4 left and a full day 5 for reinforcement of models and theories. I think reinforcement of models and theories will just take 1 day of the webinar, right? Not more than that. But if we keep just one day of the webinar for reinforcement of models, just like the Dr. Dino 100 series, and we do 2.5 hour session for Dr. Dino 100 series and reinforcing things up, and we keep another day for September, December 21 paper, because that will give us a better idea, because I believe the amount of time you spend on September, December 21 paper will put you in a better position to pass the SBL paper. I hope you agree with me, right? So I hope you got benefit out of this day today. I hope you gained something out of the day today, because that's extremely important. I will be sharing this Word file with you, but the more important thing is your feedback. I hope when you joined the session 2 hours ago, and now when you're exiting the session, in the meantime, you must have gained something. Your time spending in the session was not useless. I hope the time you spend here worth the time and worth your efforts of joining this live class, because that's extremely important. Okay, just in 1 minute, can you all tell me what have you gained out of the day two today? What was the best gaining part of the day two? One sentence answer, quick. What is the best thing you gained today? Okay, that's extremely good that you started loving SBL after my webinars. You should start loving SBL, because SBL is the paper you have to give. It's not a strategic optional paper. It's a strategic, it's an essential paper. Irrespective of the tutor, you have to give it. But really thankful for that comment. Okay, what is the key learning from today? All of you. What do you believe? Oh, I learned this, which I didn't knew. Okay, number one, Ellen is saying dividing the requirements. Jonas is saying smart way of answering SBL. Good. Okay, Alana is saying I learned how to tackle 20 professional marks. Third. Okay, Ravaga is saying conclusions on reports and understanding the question and retention. Fourth. Good. Shu is saying know how to understand the professional skill means. Okay, great. And you're clear on that, Shu, right? And that will benefit you, right? I hope you all got clarity on professional marks. I hope you all got a better definition of professional marks, right? I'm just ending the webinar now. Thank you so much.